What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to talk about Game Pass. And look, we heard about this yesterday. I saw a post on Reddit that talked about that today was going to be, I believe it said, like a big day for Xbox. Some people were saying, oh man, is it going to be Game Pass rising up, in prices? And people said, well, that would kind of be a negative thing. It certainly couldn't be that. No, it turns out that's exactly what it was. Now, okay, to be fair, there's a lot of games being added. Tiers are being renamed. To boil it down, I don't really care. Okay, at the end of the day, things are, I guess, improving in the lower tiers, right? Like lower tiers are having their games doubled, and the PC Game Pass thing, I think that goes up in price by like $5 or so. But I think you get Ubisoft Plus now, so you get like Ubisoft's back catalog. In some ways, it has improved. But at the end of the day, what I'm here to make a video on, it was honestly my gut reaction when I saw the news and I tweeted it. And look, at the same time, I still feel it. It was a gut reaction at first, but I still feel it like 7 hours later. This really is what's going to make me cancel, unsubscribe. Now, I know that's a thing that's just happening in general today. I believe people actually crashed the site where you go to unsubscribe from Game Pass. I believe that site has been like nuked because so many people were trying to unsub from it. And look, I get it. Because, okay, well, what's the main thing if you didn't see? So the highest tier, right, which is the one that I have, and I think many people do have it, it's going from $20 US, $20 US dollars, to $30. So it's going up by 50%, which is unreal. As my friend Sway, I think, said on Twitter, like, it's more than Netflix, which I don't have Netflix anymore either, so I kind of forgot about that. But $30 is absolutely unbelievable. I think it's $360 if you do the 12-month version. So it's like, to me, that's too much. That's too much. And my gut feeling is I'm done. I really feel like it's going to happen. I don't make it. Like, I guess people probably do use these opportunities to do the clickbait, like, oh, I'm gonna say it, but then maybe I'm not actually going to do it. Here's where I stand, okay? I'm going to be very selective. That's what I talked about in the tweet earlier today. My plan is to kind of just go month by month. I do think, like, you look at October, okay? October actually does make sense for somebody like me to have Game Pass, just from the new games alone. Ninja Gaiden 4, and then Outer Worlds 2. Now, funny enough, those are at the end of October, so you kind of need Game Pass in October, and then Game Pass again in November, because you kind of have to play the games or finish them. But that's kind of where I'm at, is I'm just going to be selective. They are good deals when there's, like, the new games. Factually, okay, doing Game Pass, and let's just take this month again as an example, like Ninja Gaiden and Outer Worlds 2 is what, $130, $140. If you do Game Pass, you get it for $30. Now, of course, the big kicker always and forever is you will never own those games, right? That is the big, huge, bad thing when it comes to streaming, when it comes to Game Pass, PS Plus, Netflix, all these things. So I'm not trying to diminish it or kind of pretend like that doesn't exist. I'm a huge gaming preservationist, if that's the right word. I have hundreds of games. I have, podcasts now, Back to the Past, where I just play old games. And look, sometimes Game Pass comes in clutch for those as well. Like, I love playing old games, and I try to play, oh my dear, too many. I probably try to play 4 to 8 old games a month, and oftentimes, some of them I have, and I try to get more. Literally every single year, I try to add between like 10 to 30 games to my collection, but I'm not made of money. I don't have a lot of it, so, sometimes I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to play X game. Well, is it on Game Pass? Or maybe I own it. Maybe I own it on 360, but maybe it's on Game Pass. Hey, that's far easier than me making sure that it's all going to work. It is a benefit, and it's a benefit for me personally. Look, I play more games, I think, than the average person, right? I probably play between 100 to 150 games a year. I think for most people, $30 is ridiculous no matter what, and especially for people that say play a game or two a month, right? Oh my God, you're probably not even using Game Pass, so what's the point? But someone like me, honestly, like, again, I look at Ninja Gaiden and Outer Worlds, like, it makes sense for me to do Game Pass just for those 2 games alone. But there are months months where I don't use it. And, like sinking $20 into something, that kind of is a tough pill to swallow already. But to do 30, I'm not doing it. So again, I'm here to tell you this is not, again, kind of that clickbaity, like I'm going to say it, but then I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to make such a big deal out of it without actually kind of, doing anything about it. No, I really think from now on, I already told my wife, I said, finish the games you're playing on Game Pass, because I think, we'll do October and November, so we can do Ninja Gaiden and Outer Worlds. My wife's playing a couple games with her friends. Let's clear out those games, and that's my plan. I mean, I'm going to try to finish those 2 games as quickly as possible. December, January, February, there's no games coming out to Game Pass unless it's the games they add monthly that are maybe new. And then I guess I go back and I play these old games, but I'll figure out a different way. December, January, February, there's $90 right there that I could be saving instead of giving it to Xbox or Microsoft. And by the way, beyond all that, this has just been a rant about that so far, but also here we go again, with prices increasing. Xbox did the thing with the consoles, did the thing with accessories, try to charge $80 for Outer Worlds in the most ridiculous idea, of all time, and then pulled back. They're taking what Nintendo did, right? Nintendo has that kind of, hey, we're going to do it and we're not going to really care what people think about it. And generally they can get away with it, but not always, right? They get a lot of hate too, and rightfully so. Xbox saw that and said, let's double it. let's do even more than what Nintendo's doing. Because I think you can make a justification that Mario Kart is worth 80 or Metroid's going to be worth 70 or Donkey Kong is worth 70. I think you can get there. Some Xbox things I don't think you can get there for. Raising subscriptions, raising the consoles, Series X being God only knows how much it is anymore, right? Unbelievable. And I don't think they are going to get away with it. I think people are done. I think people are very, very upset. And also, I don't think you raise prices on something that is doing unbelievably fantastic. Again, at its best, the subscription is very beneficial, I think, to people like me. I think it is a steal in a lot of months. And then other months, they're stealing from me, right? I'm stealing from them some months. They steal from me other months. But I don't know. There always is this back and forth of, is it profitable? And do companies even like it? And you always get kind of back and forth. You'll have a run of 10 companies that say, hey, our game wasn't possible without Game Pass. Then you'll have a couple that call it out kind of behind the scenes. It goes back and forth. Generally, I think generally it is more positive. And I think that's true just in general. Generally, Game Pass is more positive, even for somebody like me. But it's not worth $30 a month, number one. And number two, you do have to ask yourself, when you raise prices that severely, it's not going up by $2. I mean, here's the thing. If it goes from 20 to 22, even optically, it doesn't even look that bad. That's almost an inflation kind of number that it went up by. It's not. This, to me, signals we need more money immediately, and maybe something's not working, and we need to up. Does that make sense? That to me is, I think, the biggest issue with almost the entire thing. Raising it by half, to me, gives off the vibes that maybe there's something, because why do you do that? Why would you do it by that much? $2, $3, right? But when you get $5, $10 or more, and PC Game Pass, right? That's going up, I think, by $5 or almost exactly. So there must be something, because why are you going up by half the price that it already was? That's quite the jump. That to me signals maybe it wasn't working so well at 20, but it would work better for Xbox at 30. The issue there is, of course, you kind of show your hand. You kind of show maybe it's not working at 20 and it will at 30, but now people are so furious at you. And you know what? It's a big day for Game Pass. It got freaking 30, 40 games today. Hogwarts Legacy just came to game, which is huge. That is one of the biggest games of all time. One of the biggest games of the last 10, 15 years, right? Hogwarts coming to Game Pass is a huge, huge deal. Completely taken out, that's big, but it's completely taken out by all of this negativity. It's almost as if it didn't happen. So, or people just don't care that it is happening. So that's the news, and I want to hear from you guys. I mean, I think I'm done for certain months, but you let me know in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.